So today I've got the opportunity to have a quick drive of the Porsche Panamera. So let's see how we get on. So walking up to the car, it's about 5 meters long, 300 horsepower, 20-inch wheels. It's quite intimidating. I wasn't quite sure what I was letting myself in for, but as I got in, it was just surrounded by knobs and buttons and dials. I was too desperate to drive it to really worry about what they actually all did. So I started the engine. We had a suitable good roar to it, and drove off, and had a little drive through some towns, bit of motorway and a few country lanes before I had to bring it back. Yeah, it's not the normal Panamera. This is the Platinum edition, which is sort of a spec'd up version of the 3-litre V6 diesel engine, which kicks out about 300 horsepower. I think it retailed at around 97,000 quid. This one's 4 years old and probably worth about 37,000. So that's 60,000 pounds depreciation in 4 years. That's a huge amount. Some people don't even earn that much money. So once I'd driven it for a little while, I then sort of started playing with the buttons. I thought, well, where's the sports button? What does this button do? Which is a picture of the suspension on it. And then I realised I'd popped the spoiler up at the back and couldn't work out how to get it back down again. But needless to say, in sports mode, you do feel it wanting to firm up. Everything tightens up and gets a little bit more sporty. The revs come up on the auto gearbox. It changes down, and when you push the suspension button, you can feel it. It's quite soft until you push the button, and then it does firm up and it does handle a lot better. A lot of fun to drive. I also had to play with the Tiptronic gearbox. It got the sort of paddles on the steering wheel. They're not really paddles, but they're that sort of thing. And the gear changes are still quite slow, like you would have in a normal automatic. But you can obviously control it from the steering wheel, or just leave it in fully auto mode. I can't imagine this car being like a 4-seater or a bigger version of the 911. It's too soft. It's too easy to drive. I can imagine it being a good GT car. Driving down the Pan American highway. You could churn up miles very easily in this and actually enjoy the bit of performance and comfort at the same time. The driving position is very comfortable. You sort of sit deep into a nice leather seat, surrounded in luxury and technology. Looking around, it's just full of buttons and dials. All probably going to take a little while to work out what they all do and really get the best out of them. It's a very interesting car. It's quite quick. The suspension's quite soft until you put it into sport mode, and then you do feel it firm up. You can adjust suspension levels, and you can also obviously put it in that sports mode where everything seems to tighten up a little bit more. It got sort of flappy paddle for the automatic on the steering wheel, which works well, but again, like an auto, there is this bit of a delay in in the gear changes, like you wouldn't expect in any auto. It does drive well. It actually seems to be fully loaded. There's lots and lots of buttons in here. I've no idea what half of them do. I could have a play, but I've only got a short drive. So anyway, all good fun. It's quick, but not overly quick at 6.6 seconds to 60. But it does have a freight train's worth of torque at 550 Newton meters, which you really can feel when you want to use the power. Unfortunately, I only got a short drive, and as always with these things, you never get long enough. Certainly enough though to feel the handling and the acceleration and the comfort. If you get the opportunity to drive one of these, grab it with both hands.